Not only do we have the same hardy skin, but in our veins flows the same divine essence. We share the same wisdom and melody, the same will. Whoa, someone's coming out of the mural. It has been too long, dear friend. How many years since that day? 500? Thousands? Still, time matters not to us at all. You may be in this small body now, but I recognize you in an instant. Well, have you tired of battle and decided to take up rat catching as a new hobby? It's you. And what is he exactly? A monster? A ghost? Or could he be the real Dark Lord? Dark Lord? Barbarians remain barbarians, I see, ignorant even to their own ignorance. Botius of Remuria am I, foremost harmost of Phobos. You need not introduce yourselves. I have no interest in the titles peddled by primitives. Do you know this rude fellow, Ozzy? I do not deny it, but need you be so formal, Cassador? Do our years of service under our Sebastus, our god king, matter so little to you? The past is past. I do not know how you, whose soul has long been shattered, have manifested, but it seems that the chaotic symphony is your doing and none other. Cease. Return the souls of those who live in the present and go back to the shadow beneath the deep waters to where you belong. This is my final warning to you. Oh, and what then? Will you continue wearing your mask of hypocrisy, traitor? Will you shut your eyes and ears for another millennium? But you have noticed, haven't you, why my melody would break its bonds at this time and affect the present? Why, my strength has given me the might to open the gates to the deep waters, allowing me to manifest. The power of the sea surges, Cassador. The return of Phobos is imminent. Phobos? Yes, indeed. Over these thousands of years, I have already bound my soul to the shattered Phobos. The omniscient enigma, the great power, is about to finally descend once again, and is this not the wish that we once failed to accomplish? To repeat the past is to give the ancient tragedy an encore. Nor have I ever wanted to sacrifice innocent lives. Is that so? Well, not that it matters, Cassador. The world you have defended is coming apart at the seams. The people of bygone times you see before you shall return to their rightful places. Fontaine's existence is a mistake, one we shall correct. When the oceans swallow it, Remuria shall rise above the sea once again, and its light shall shine over the land. Is this because of the primordial sea? Do even barbarians know of its existence nowadays? You are the mistaken one. We should have assimilated into the new nation thousands of years ago, but it was you who warped them into puppets of ancient hate. Whether that Phobos matter is true or false, as long as my will has not dissipated, your schemes will not succeed. Do you mean to say, then, that we should abandon our honor as Remurians and degenerate into mere base insects? How could I ever follow my kin to return to those bags of decaying flesh and become slaves to Fortuna once more? It seems that the millennia have not led you to accept Remuria's downfall. If anything, you've grown more obstinate still. Yeah, bro did not take the fall of his country well. Perhaps it is in our stubbornness alone that we are quite similar. I thought that the long years would have rendered you willing to once more stand by my side. Have you met you? Who wants to stand by your side? You betrayed the tribe that birthed you, and you betrayed Remuria. You may have become the Golden Hunter, but you cannot remove the brand of the Sebastus that marks you still. You will always be a Remurian. Hermarians have long ceased to exist, save in your delusions. The world of old has passed away. Of course, of course. Or so it was meant to be, but now the border between past and present has faded. If you insist on becoming the enemy of our ancient realm and sealing me once more in the cage buried beneath the waves, then those Fontanians you wish to protect, yes, all of Petrichor, shall be buried as one. No way. We're not letting that happen. That's not up to you, insolent savage. When that time comes, your lowly flesh will be rendered as dust, but your souls will join with ours and take the next step of evolution. We shall bestow upon you eternal, resilient bodies, that you may never again suffer mortal pain. Should you have words of gratitude, I will hear them. Pain is part of living. You've got to be kidding me. That's not something we'd be thankful for at all. Just like those puppets who danced as you performed, your pitiable slaves and servants, those poor children, everything was stripped from them, and you still speak with such conviction. All things have their price. Narrow personal opinions are but refuse to be discarded by a higher class of being such as I. Besides, as I see it, they are the ideal form of humanity, adhering unerringly to perfect order. You are absolutely nuts, and despicable, too. Despicable? And what would you call what Cassiter did to us thousands of years ago, then? By comparison, this is nothing. But patience. We should have a good long talk, but not here. No, we shall speak beneath the deep waters, in the deepest bowels of our ancient realm, where everything began. The realm awakens, Cassiter. You are the sole survivor of our fallen realm, the sole Remurian left with free will. And you have left us for far too long. You must return to us and listen to the lamentation and anger of the long years. Perhaps then you shall be more receptive to my symphony and to the arrangement of Phobos. I will await you in the royal city of Remuria, in Domus Aurea, where the Sebastus plied his melody. I will, of course, extend the appropriate hospitality to those souls from the present before your arrival. Should you still remain resolute when the time comes, their souls will naturally receive their release. And as for you, you are not part of Phobos' plan, and yet the great symphony shall in no wise cast out any audience. That sentence did not make sense to me. Do enjoy the passing prelude I have prepared for you. If fortune proves favorable, we shall meet again. What if I don't want to meet you again? What then? Oh, hi. Fight me to the death, I guess.
Let me weave you a verse. Let's light it up.
I'm gonna have to like exit out and come back in. I do not know what is going on with my ping. But this is not it. They didn't give me anything. What the heck? Fine. Oh, hi. What's up, dudes?
No, my sword! Rain outlines your fate. Witness the power of good. Everybody stand back! Huh? Rubber Senda! From Christina with love. Feeling lucky? Feeling lucky?
Well, that shut him up. What do we do now, though? If we want to save the souls of the townspeople, we're gonna have to head to the Domus Aurea of whatever that super rude, duper arrogant guy talked about, right? As you might recall, we weren't invited. Since when have we ever needed invitations to crash some bad guy's party? Oh, right. But from what he said, he seems to have known Ozzy for a long time. Said they worked for the Sebastus or whatever. We need to have a good talk before we go. Cassiter. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, this time I shall tell you all I know. Oh god. So much talking is about to happen. Tell us about Remuria. That's where you and that rude fellow are both from, right, Ozzy? Seems to be an ancient nation. Very well. The story begins before the court of Fontaine as you know it was born. The Sebastus Remus founded a nation above the high sea that is Fontaine, and the ancestors of the present-day Fontanians named him the Dark Lord Remus in their terror. Before it sank, this body of water was part of the Great Fontaine Lake, and the location where the capital of Remuria was sited. As such, these waters have the same properties as those in Fontaine. Wait, so we are actually in the ruins of Remuria now? Indeed. But where the tale differs from commonly told history is the people of Remuria were not ordinary humans like Fontanians. Rather, they were a new race. Their bodies were cast of stone, with ichor for blood. The Sebastus gave us such bodies in the hope that we could escape our prisons of rotting flesh and fate. His great vision was that we should all grasp the power of the symphony and thereby escape the shackles of Fortuna, becoming the masters of our own destiny. So, those stone statues we saw on the way here, those were your kin? Precisely so. I fear that they have long lost their free will, however, becoming mindless slaves, worse off by far than the humans of old, easily perishable though they are. Wait, in that case, why are you a cat? I am a cat for now. And one's will and soul are more important than one's body, are they not? Regardless, it was the Sebastus who gave me new life. We once possessed all of the high sea, countless cities and palaces, flowers, flowing wine, and yet fate found us all the same. After returning from the deepest depths of the sea, the Sebastus used ichor to create imperishable bodies for the people. And still, the prophesied future did not change. Our god king believed that it was because human souls could not escape the gravity of fate, and so he wrote the symphony, a music that could weave destiny. He believed that through this, he had found a way to resist fate, but instead that path led us into utter darkness, step by step. And in the end, the entire kingdom sank beneath the waves, as though it had been smote by divine judgment. No. I fear that even he did not foresee such an outcome, though all the same, that is what happened. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, this is the time. I shall tell you all I know. So, tell us about your impudent friend. Right, and he called you Cassiter or something, right? But aren't you called Orin... or, something? Just as I have traversed many bodies, I have had many names. Of course, this is all thanks to the Sebastus, who separated my soul from the Grand Symphony. A convenient ability indeed. But back to Boetius. He was not always evil. He was once a noble Harmost of Remuria, and the sole survivor following the great catastrophe that befell. The original purpose of the Golden Castellum was to unify our surviving kin and prevent the catastrophe of the rising waters from ever occurring again. But evidently, Boetius had his own designs. While I and my companions ranged across the land, struggling mightily to contain the power of the primordial waters, he used his eloquent tongue to sway those who remained. He initiated a fell ritual that aimed to restore the shattered symphony and revive the ruined realm. To this end, he did not hesitate to dissolve the will of our kin and plunder the souls of Fontanians everywhere. Many rulers and nobles became his pawns, and Polites, newly born, lay on the brink of destruction. To stop him, who had by now clearly become a monster, I could only forsake my name and become one who hunts phantoms, resisting him alongside the Fontanians. Bitter was the conflict before we were at last able to seal both him and the sea that had devoured our nation. And that is why he names you a traitor. I followed the Sebastus precisely because he had shown me that golden dream, a land where prejudice and difference were no more, a land of justice and freedom. But that was what it had become after Remuria sank. No more than a dream. I would rather he be called a traitor than let Botius trample on our ideals. I swore upon fate that I would serve as the barrier between past and present. Thus did I become the spirit keeper of our ancient land. Guess Mr. Impolite's a pretty stubborn guy, huh? Even after being beaten up and sealed, he's still looking to break out and cause trouble. I thought that even if evil lingered in him, his soul had long been broken, and he would remain naught but discordant notes, a symphony plunged into strife. I never thought that he would weave his shattered self into the symphony and thus gain mastery over it. The discord and dissonance that now emanates from these waters can be regarded as an extension of his power. If we are to defeat him, I fear we must await the moment when all his soul fragments have gathered around one body. That was only the top two options. Let's hear about the symphony in Phobos. Where should I even begin? The symphony is human memory and persona woven into a melody through musical notation, creating a song in which human souls can dwell and have their wishes fulfilled. In that way, to master the symphony is to master fates. This is the secret that the great golden bee Sibylla, the prophet who survived the previous cycle, imparted. The Sebastus, who created the symphony, poured these melodies into the insoluble ichor in hopes that all might control their own fates through playing that music. He overestimated us, I fear, for his deeds terrified us. The people could not bear the burden of fate, and they begged their god and superiors for guidance. At the request of the people, the Sebastus wrote all melodies into the grandest of melodies. This new symphony would bring us all the greatest happiness, and its name was Phobos. But it did not bring what was promised. Indeed, you saw how it all ended, didn't you? Had the Sebastus's plan worked, the symphony would have woven a melody of utmost gentleness for us all, an eternity that would last 1,000 years and beyond. But something went wrong. Besides, the Sebastus himself only said superiors. The harmists could have changed Phobos' melody, and Botius was once an excellent harmost. If you have... Okay, yeah.